I know it's in the middle of the week, it's a little random, but I thought of this word over Shabbos, and I have to share it. And this Shabbos, I have to give a word on Leib because Erev Shabbos is Leib. So, here it is. In Ahron, we talk about the Avodah Zarah Moilech. The Shrek, I think, is machlekes about what exactly it is. They're bringing the kid through fire. They're actually sacrificing the child. Does the priest hold the child? Does the father hold the child? Okay. The pasuk says that the person who does the avera, does the sacrificing, and the whole family also terrible things. Only the sacrificer is chayav misa, but the whole family gets a shout out. The whole mishpacha. So Rashi's bothered. What did the mishpacha do? They didn't do anything wrong. Why are they involved? And Rashi says that if one person in the family is off, something dirty about them, then the whole family has to be dirty. And I'm reading this Rashi, it's such a pella. Says who? We know, unfortunately, nowadays, there's a wave from children who are going off the derech. They don't understand what Yiddishkeit is. They never tasted a relationship with Hashem. And they're out wandering, looking for themselves. That means the whole family is lost? If one kid is dirty, the whole family is dirty? It's not true. Elamai. It is true. If there's someone in the family who's dirty, and the parents, the family, and the siblings all say, this kid is gone. This kid's dirty, there's something wrong with him, he's a black sheep. Then the whole family is therefore to blame. But, if the family looks at this kid and says he's a beautiful Torah neshama, there's nothing wrong with him, there's nothing broken about him, he's lost, he's confused, but he's going to come right back. He's not dirty, there's nothing putrid about this neshama. It's the purest neshama shenesat to be Torah. There's something off. Something's wrong, something's confused. He's having a bad couple of years. Then of course the family has nothing to do with it. Then there's no blame on the family. The only reason that Rashi says that the whole mishpach is to blame because they're looking at this kid, at the Bala Avera, as dirty. Wow. This week's parsha, Rabbi Akiva pipes up in Rashi. The Torah says, "V'ahavta l'reacha kamoicha." Oh, my Rabbi Akiva, ze klal godol b'Torah. I heard a Rabbi Breitowitz said this week. What does it mean, ze klal godol b'Torah? It's an interesting lashon. What do those words mean? What is the klal godol b'Torah? What is the big klal? What is the big move that you can do to be koilel anyone into Torah? Someone who doesn't understand Torah, he doesn't have a relationship with it, never learned Torah. How are you going to bring him in? How are you going to be koilel him into Torah? That's the key. That's how you bring someone into Torah. Ma'aser Shahaya, a famous story with Ahron Leib. What happened? You only found out about the story at the end of the story. So it starts at the end. There was a kid who was going off the derech. B'nai Braker, the son was lost. To the point that when he came home for Shabbos, finally, he came to spend Shabbos with his family, he was smoking on the porch. He was really, really gone. He felt very disconnected. But the parents showed him absolute love. Family, hey, you're our brother. Okay, we know you're going through stuff. Shabbos afternoon, the father decided, I don't know what got into his head. He said, hey, I'm going to shir by Rabbi Leib. You want to come? This kid had no interest in rabbis, no Torah, nothing. But he said yes. The father was a little taken aback, but he hid it. He said, hey, if he's coming along for a shir, bring him along. Why not? And he came. He sat through the entire shir, and he listened. The father was just confused. Like, what's he even doing here? Looks like he's enjoying. He went after the shir to say shkoyach, to say good Shabbos to Ahron Leib. And the kid, when he got to the father, so the father explained, when he got to Ahron Leib, so the father leaned in and he explained that, this is my son, he's Machal Shabbos. So Ahron Leib looked at him, gave him a warm Shalom Aleichem, good Shabbos. And he said, how many years have you been Machal Shabbos? Been going off the derech. The kid said, about 2-3 years. And how many times in the last 2-3 years did you think about doing tshuva? And the Gadol Adar asks you, the kid thinks. I'd say about probably 20-30 times. It's a couple of years. And he said, and each time was for how long? He said, not more than a minute. Okay, so for about 20, 30 minutes, you thought about doing Shuvah. Ahron Leib looked at him and said, give me a bracha. Give me a bracha. I mean, now the kid's just confused. He said, you don't understand. The Malkim Shabbat Shuvah Oimdim. I will never be where you are. You've had 30 minutes of tshuva that I will never be able to have. Give me a bracha. So sheepishly, the kid gave the Gadol Hadar a bracha. And from that point on, he started being chayzer b'tshuva. After a couple of months, Baruch Hashem, the kid was back in the yeshiva and he was doing well, he was healthy. And the father said, why did you say yes? Why did you agree to come with me to a shir? You were not holding in shiurim. And the kid said, you're right, I was not, but when I was a kid in yeshiva, Rabbi Ahron Leib came to give us a faher. I was a little kid, first grade, pre-une, something around there. And Rabbi Ahron Leib would ask questions, not hard questions, but questions, go around the class. And he came in with a little bag of candies, little taffies, and if you got an answer right, he'd give you a taffy. Alright, he's going around the class, ask the question, taffy. Give a good answer, taffy. Answer, taffy. He came to me, asks me a question. No clue. I didn't know. No, I'm not a brainiac. I was a little behind in learning. I don't know. Okay, next. Ahron Leib comes back to me and says, another question. Asks him a little easier. Doesn't get it. Seder. Next. I was very embarrassed. He gave me a third chance. Like a relatively easy question, but I didn't know it. I just didn't know what we were learning. Seder. I didn't get my candy. Said shkoyach, gave us all a bracha, and we all started heading out, filing out the door for recess. I was about to leave, and Ahron Leib calls me over. I walk over to the Gadol Hadar, and he says, give me your hand. I held out my hand, and he put 3 taffies in my hand. He said, Tzaddik, you have to know this. In Klal Yisrael, we don't get schar for answers. We get schar for amelos. You worked on 3 questions, and they only worked on 1. You get 3 taffies. He said, I will never forget that. Ever. That changed my entire view on life, my view of Gedolim. And although I was in a very, very dark place, when you said that Ahron Leib was giving a shir, I could still feel the sweetness, that warm handshake, and the love in his eyes, and I couldn't say no. I wanted to feel that again. Thank you for taking me to the shir. With Ahava, you could be koilel anyone back into Torah. Anyone. And as long as you don't look at him like he's dirty, like there's something wrong with him, then he'll come back. He will be back. And then it's not your fault. But once you look at him like he's dirty, like there's something wrong, it's a defect, chas v'shalom, then it's your fault. Then it's the family's fault. V'havta l'recha kamecha. Shkach.